What's going on YouTube? My name is ginj-tcg or Chris, and today I'm back with probably one of the most insane decks I've ever created. It revolves around Pawmot EX. Now, I wouldn't be shocked if most of you had no idea what this EX does. Honestly, I pulled it so far out of the bulk binders, it was insane. But we got the 11 strike attack where you discard 2 electric energy and do 220 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. And I know you're thinking, that's not insane. Yeah, that's pretty good. It's some good bench snipe, but how are you gonna loop it? Well, that's where our good old friend Blaziken EX comes into play. With Seething Spirit, all we need to do is get one of these abilities to take an energy card from our discard pile and attach it to Pawmot, and then a manual attachment or just 2 Blazikens, and then boom, we're ready to rumble. We're playing a couple fire energies as well in case we need to use Blaziken. But more importantly, Pawmot can destroy a lot of the bench Pokemon that almost every single deck is relying on. I mean, every deck is playing Pheasantipity EX. So many decks, such as Terrabox, are playing, Latias EX, Squawkabilly EX, Mew EX, a bunch of support EX Pokemon, and I think Pawmot, although it might not be able to OHKO the active Pokemon, way that be, even a 230 HP Pokemon like Zacian EX, which I have outs for, and I'll explain in a second, but, anything 230 above, it's Pawmot can't deal with it, but we can snipe so many things on the bench where we can still trade very evenly and go for a 2-2-2 game. But more importantly, if you're trying to hit 230, that's where the single prize Pawmot comes into play. With Electrogenesis ability, you can search your deck for an energy card, attach it to this Pokemon, and you do 230 damage. So if you're up against Terrabox, we now have a insane single prize attacker that could either set up a 2-shot KO on something like Dragapult EX or just one-shot something like Zacian and kind of help you get ahead. And remember, this deck still has Blaziken, which is an insane attacker right now, and we're in a lot of metal Pokemon in the format, like with Archaladin and Zacian. Blaziken could swing for weakness. I guess Archaladin could get a little more difficult with the fire resistance, but we have gusting cards to get around that. And again, many Archaladin decks play Pheasantipity, so we can also just snipe their bench. But yeah, we got combos for that. We got Iron Hands to set up since we're taking a lot of energy out of the discard pile. If we get a chance where we've got 2 Blaziken on the bench and, we got a manual attachment or 2, we can just use Iron Hands as well as 1 copy of Poppy just to move energy around. So if we get out the single prize Pawmot, just using Electrogenesis and then Poppy could move 2 energy from this Pawmot to Iron Hands, or Regigigas, which is here in the deck to take down the massive Terra stage 2 attackers like Dragapult, like Charizard EX, cards like that. So between Iron Hands and Regigigas, the deck now has versatility to deal with unevolved Pokemon, or in the Gardevoir matchup, deal with some single prize attackers. You got Regigigas, which could take down the big Terras, and then, like I said, we're revolving around Pawmot EX. With that free retreat, it's a great pivot, but it could also snipe many support Pokemon on the bench. So I think overall this deck has a lot of options, and it's kind of fun. The rest of the list runs very simply. We've got Revavroom as the draw engine just to get energy in the discard pile to use Seething Spirit, but also draw up to 6 cards. We've got the new stadium, Levincia, which can take 2 basic electric energies from the discard pile, put them into the hand so that we can maybe Ultra Ball them away, manual attach them. It just gives us more options. Like if we've got a bunch of supporters and we don't want to get rid of any cards in our hand, we could use the stadium to take a couple energy, even if it's just to put them back in the discard pile to search for a Pokemon, or manual attach 1 and get rid of the other. That's a play I did in my warm-up games, I think twice actually. In 2 different games I did it like multiple times. It just kind of works. And then, for the rest of the supporters, it's a very Arven heavy deck, and I'll get into our tools in a second. I think that's the other reason this deck does function so well. But then we've got 2 copies of Boss's Orders, 2 copies of Iono, and the 1 copy of Poppy to move energy. On top of that, we're playing TM Evolution since we do have an Evolution heavy deck, and I'm not playing Grand Tree. I think Grand Tree could be a bit of fun in this, but I think since we're using Pawmot with 11 strike, I kind of like Prime Catcher just to make sure I'm gusting up KOs when I can. And even though I can snipe the bench, just switching out of the active in case they gust up something like Blaziken or even Iron Hands if I had to bench that, unfortunately. A lot of times we kind of want to pivot out, and this is our pivot for the deck, so I do like Prime Catcher. But for the tools, I am playing Powerglass. Which, once you pass your turn, so essentially once your turn ends, and let's say you're using Pawmot, it's in the active spot, you snipe Pheasantipity for 220 damage, you discard 2 energy. If Powerglass is attached to that Pawmot, after your attack, you take 1 of those energy you discarded and you attach it immediately to Pawmot. So now you don't even need the manual attachment, you just need Powerglass, as well as Blaziken, which you put the energy in the discard pile to use the attack, and boom, Pawmot's set up, which means your manual attachment could go to something like Regigigas, it could go to something, like Iron Hands, it could go even to another Pawmot, set up a backup attacker, set up something that you could Poppy onto later. That this deck has weird ways to win games. It's definitely one of the crazier builds I've ever made, but I'm super excited to show it off to you guys. And yeah, with that being said, before we hop into the match, I do have two very important announcements. One of them is that tomorrow at 11 a.m. EST, there will be the Creators Cook-Off Tournament. So it will be a tournament casted by Chef Husky and myself, where and hosted by Chef. I mean, he came up with the whole idea. Definitely give him some credit where it's due. The guy has put together this awesome tournament where a bunch of Pokemon content creators are showing off in a massive cook-off tournament-style TCG game, you know, where a wheel will be spun, a random deck will be given, everyone will build whatever version they can of that deck in a set amount of time, and then showdown against each other, you know, in best of 3 matches. So it's going to be a ton of fun. I will be casting it, you know, commentating alongside Chef Husky for the whole tournament, so definitely tune into that on someone's stream. I don't care if it's mine, I don't care if it's another YouTuber. Let me know who you're watching it from in the comments down below, because I'm super interested to see who everyone's rooting for, who everyone wants to tune in and listen to while this is going on. So yeah, I hope you guys tune into that, and I got that TCG Player affiliate link in the description down below. So if you're going to TCG Player for any singles, because I know you guys don't have Pawmi EX and you're obviously going to get it after this, you know, if you're going for any singles, decks, or deck accessories for whatever card game you're playing, period, go to TCG Player via my link in the description down below. Visiting TCG Player and ordering stuff within 48 hours of clicking on my link supports the channel in a huge way. So thank you so much to everyone who's been doing that. Now, with that being said, let's hop into today's video and see how well Pawmo EX can do. Welcome to match number 1. We open up with an interesting hand, to say the least. There is a good chance we're going to get donked here, isn't there? Yes, there is. Alright. Although, we have 5 cards in hand. Raging Bolt. Raging Bolt is a deck we can take. I know you're probably thinking, but we can't one-shot Raging Bolt with Pawmo EX. That's fine. Ogerpon will fall. I think the safest play for us here, honest to God, is just give me Varoom. So I could Ultra Ball away. You just hope they don't have the donk. I can Ultra Ball away something and get Revavroom. I really don't want to get rid of Rare Candy or Pawmo EX. I kind of do need those next turn as well. But I do have the Stadium to get back the energy and use Revaroom's ability to draw into 6 cards, which could give me the rest of Pawmi. So if my opponent does have the donk KO, or not donk KO, but if they, well, I guess the turn 1 KO, they wouldn't win the game, but I don't know how I'd make that comeback because I really do need Pawmi. It really depends if they got like Sada and all the energy needed to retreat, attack, set up. You know, they need a manual attachment, a Sada, and some way, some sort of switch card to get Hoo out of the active. Now, there are 5 cards in my opponent's hand. We have not seen any energy in the discard pile yet, which is a good sign. I don't mind taking, you know, a second to set up. And if I could snipe this Ogre, actually, you know, I did forget something in my warm-up matches. I can't snipe Ogerpon. Okay, this got a little bit harder. Average GinJTCG moment where I just stop thinking. Alright. Yeah, that ain't great. But, okay. Scrap everything I was just saying about sniping Ogerpons. We're going to ignore all of that. We're going to put 220 here, and then use Iron Hands to take 3. And I'll figure out the rest from there. For now, we're going to go Rare Candy, evolve into Pawmo. Yeah. This works. Okay. Not ideal, but my god, does get the job done. We'll play this Stadium. I am going to Iono just to see what I can get down. Even if I could use Zap Kick, I do take a KO on Hoo, which does help a good bit. It's not the best play by any means, but again, it gets the job done right now. That's good enough. So we are going to use Ultra Ball, get rid of 2 more energy. I know that's a lot of energy, but we do have the Stadium to get more back from the discard pile into our hand. I am going to use Revavroom. I'm going to use the Stadium to take 2 energy. I will be attaching 1 to Pawmot, just so I've got the KO on Hoo. Because then all we need to do, pull off a 3 prize KO on Raging Bolt, right? Pull off 1 prize card here, that's 4, and then we just need to counter catcher up this. Or not counter catcher, prime catcher up this and take this guy out with Pawmo EX when it's in the active, with Regigigas. I mean, we got a lot of options from there. So it's a little scrappy, but it definitely gets the job done. For now, let's Rumbling Engine. Hope I can get some Blaziken to get down, because that would be huge. Well, I said Blaziken. I should have said Torchic. That, honestly, that's my fault. That's my fault. That's, for now, let's just get the Powerglass down on Pawmot. We'll use Zap Kick for 120 damage, and we'll get an energy from the discard pile and attach it to Pawmot. So if we Iono'd my opponent into the nuts, well, so be it. And we got another Rare Candy, which isn't the worst. It's not the end of the world, although this hand is a little dead. I can use Rumbling Engine because I do have an extra energy in the discard pile. that I can pull back, but I think I'm going to go for the Vessel play more importantly. I don't know. I mean, I really thought we had a great line against this deck. I totally forgot about the Terror rule. I was so obsessed with sniping Fez and Mew and stuff like that in my first matches, and I'm like, oh yeah, I could hit Ogerpons no problem, but then I'm like, oh wait, no I can't. Terra stops bench damage, so I do need it in the active, but that's okay. You know, it's a rogue deck. We never said it's the most efficient way to deal with Raging Bull. It's just, it's a line we can take, and I think for now that is going to be my general plan of action. My opponent's got 5 cards in hand. They have not done much, so I'm curious to see what they're rocking with. I do have Boss, so funny enough, I actually can go Boss on Ogerpon and take the KO still, which is, I mean, hey, I'm not complaining, you know what I mean? I never said that's the order we had to do all those prize cards and stuff. I just said it's the general line. But based off the Iono I got, my hand isn't too phenomenal. They're going to use Earthen Vessel to get rid of, if it's a electric or fighting energy, I could be in a little bit of trouble if they do have Sada in hand. If it's anything else, they are going to need another card in their hand to get rid of said electric or fighting energy. But yeah, that's really all that's needed at this point to take the KO, because what, 7 times 4 actually would be 280. They still could whiff the KO. Oh my god, wait, hold up, what am I seeing here? What is this? Oh my gosh. Alright, that is not what I expected. The single prize Raging Bolt. They got another grass energy and the fighting energy. They could attach the fighting to Raging Bolt and just go in with a burst roar, but that would get rid of the extra grass energy in hand. Ooh, another Nest Ball, get down another Ogerpon, spread some energy. Now if they get a Sato off the... Ooh, Fez. Okay, wait, do I 11 strike the Fez or the Ogerpon? I feel like the Ogerpon. Because if we get rid of a lot of the energy that's on my opponent's bench... Oh my god, wait, I forgot they could use Fez this turn. Oh, that's so bad. That's not good. I forgot we took a prize. Alright, anyways. If we get rid of Ogerpon, assuming they don't attack, and we get rid of Ogerpon, that gets rid of a lot of energy that they have in play to take the KO, and I think that's more important. As, you know, we're going to use Boss to do that. I'm not just going to snipe the bench. However, if they do attack this turn and just get, you know, like 280 damage done, 210 damage done, something like that, I think we take down the Fez, just because then the Ogerpon is not holding so much weight for their attack. So, we'll wait and see what my opponent's got in store for us. There's 6 cards. They still have no energy in the discard pile. They're going to bench the single prize Koraidon. That's fun. Okay, this is so not your average Raging Bolt deck. You know what? That's cool. I didn't want to play your average Raging Bolt deck. I'm out here playing Pawmot. And they're going to go Prime Catcher. Oh my lord. Yep, they'll take up the Revavroom, which we are going to have a miserable time getting out of the active spot, and go in with Teal Mask Ogerpon, which we do resist a grass attacker, so you know what, if I could get my own Prime Catcher, maybe. I could go Prime Catcher, then Boss back on the Ogerpon, get rid of 3 energy. That would really cripple my opponent's setup, actually. I kind of love that play. They would get access to Fez, but then they don't have any Ogerpon or grass energy in play. So they would also need to dig those out just to power up Raging Bolt to take the KO on 300 HP. I like that. It's a line. It's a line. It's kind of why I was hoping I got Torchic last turn, so that I could Rare Candy into Blaziken, and I would guarantee my setup they go Boss on Pawmi. Okay, so they're just trying to keep pace. That was interesting. I feel like Revavroom was their best bet to keep in the active, but I'm not complaining. Because then we would have needed some sort of switch out. Now I've got the guaranteed KO on Ogerpon or Fez. Like, it's literally just my choice on what I want to deal with at this point. I mean, hey, yo, if that's what I got to do, that's what I got to do. I'll take that. I'll take that any day of the week. All right, what do we got? We got 1 energy in the discard pile. Let's Earthen Vessel away 1 Blaziken. It's not ideal, but you know what? I don't really have much of a choice. I'm going to take 1 of each energy. I'm going to use an Ultra Ball to get rid of both energy and take a Torchic. And then I'll play my Stadium to get the electric energy back to use Rumbling Engine. And I'm going to hold the boss's orders. For now, let's get our Torchic, because I really do need this guy. This guy's going to be huge. Blaziken is going to be a great backup attacker against this guy. It's going to be a huge energy acceleration at so many different points in the game. Let's just get rid of their Stadium, make the bench small, play Levincia, get, what, 1 energy out? I could get 2. Right, just to hold 1 in hand. Now, let me just get 1. I'll leave 2 in the discard pile. We'll use Rumbling Engine, get rid of the energy. This is sweet. Oh, this is actually awesome. Okay. This is a game changer. We're going to go Buddy-Buddy Poffin. Going to get down another Pawmi and another Torchic. And that'll be 4 Pokemon on my bench. I could bench Iron Hands. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Go Arven. What item do I need? What item do I need? I'm not sure. Could go Counter Catcher. Definitely Powerglass. Could even go Ultra Ball. Right? I don't hate that. I'm rocking with... Yeah, no. We go Ultra Ball every day of the week. Okay. Cool. I will... I'm not going to bench Iron Hands yet. Just because this is an easy Gust KO. I want this to be the only 2 Prazzer in play right now. And we have a Powerglass attached already. Yeah, it's 11 strike. Tell my opponent goodnight. We'll get rid of 2 energy. We will throw 220 damage on their active Pokemon. Since it is a Terra Pokemon in the active spot, the Terra effect doesn't work. It prevents bench damage, but they put it back in the active spot for me. I'm going to use my Powerglass, now get an electric energy from the discard pile. We got a ton of energy in the discard pile, which is good, because with my current hand, I got a guarantee 1 Blaziken EX. I can use Levincia to pull 2 energy. I can use Blaziken to get another energy from the discard pile into play. I mean, I like this. I like this a lot. They honestly might even gust around Pawmot just to take 8 prizes this turn, put them back on an even prize. I wouldn't be shocked if that's the line. I mean, they used Noctowl, but there's no Terra Pokemon in play. So they're not going to get anything off of that. They needed to go flip the script, get an Ogerpon back, and then go Noctowl with Jewel Seeker. We do lose Levincia. Okay, that hurts a bit. And Powerglass is shut down too. Do I play 30 stadiums? Or 2? I don't totally remember. I don't know. We'll find out. They scooped. They didn't have nothing. They didn't have anything. We had the manual attachment to Praz KO on Fez, and after evolving into Blaziken, I'm sure we could have set up any other big attacker to take our huge final KO on a single prize card. So, match number 1. Not one I expected to come away with, to be quite honest, but, I mean, it was pretty comfortable. I mean, we made it through fine. So, yeah, let's hop into match number 2 and see who else Pawmot could tear down. Welcome to match number 2. We're going first, and we're up against the infamous Dragapult EX. Now, I have to say, I am opening up with probably one of the best hands I've ever seen in my life, and it just keeps getting better. All right, and they lead Iron Bundle, which is, and we get all right, we taking this down, no problem. All right, give me another Pawmi, give me another, actually, give me a Varoom. I need to make sure I'm evolving. Yeah, it's kind of helpful. Or, excuse me, getting my draw engine is kind of helpful. That's fine. I definitely need to get these down because they're all 60 HP, so Dragapult can become a little scary. I want to get these down and evolved as soon as possible, but I'm confident I can do that. So we'll get an energy down on Pawmi. And now next turn, all I need to do is Arven for Earthen Vessel and Powerglass, and boom, we're good to go. We're starting to snipe stuff on the bench. Everything after that, we'll have to figure out after that, but, you know, my opponent gets 2 Dreepy down. I was going to say, if they just get 1 Dreepy down, we could kind of limit the Dreepies they got in play, but they could just Arven for even Vessel TM Evo. They could Arven for Buddy-Buddy Poffin TM Evo if they have the energy. Buddy-Buddy Poffin Rescue Board definitely works. They could get Iron Bundle out of the active spot. They'll promote... I was going to say, maybe Budew they get off the Buddy-Buddy Poffin, put me in item lock. That would be very problematic, honest to God. I don't know how I would deal with that. But now I have a target for Pawmot EX. If I'll take down a choice of Dreepies, I'll make sure it's the one with energy, since my opponent most definitely plays a finite amount of them. And they'll give me Duskull in the active spot. They definitely have no idea what is going on. There's no way they do. And honestly, I don't hate Iono, but not this turn. I think the play for us is just we'll go Arven. We'll take out... Do have 1 Rare Candy. You know, if I... no, I need Vessel. Yeah. No. We need Vessel Powerglass. There's no way around. We don't even have TM Evo, so I couldn't even do that line if I wanted to. I am going to... I really don't want to get rid of Poppy. But... I know I could get rid of an Ultra Ball. Yeah, I think I could just get rid of an Ultra Ball. Okay, then we'll take 1 of each energy. I like having 1 fire energy in the discard pile as well as 1 in the deck, just because if I need to set up Blaziken in a pinch, using Seething Spirit to get the fighting energy, since I'm more likely to already have the electric energy, is just kind of nice. So I'm going to Ultra Ball away the fire energy as... Oh, man. Yeah, I guess Poppy does have to go, huh? I need the rest of the cards in my hand just to pull off the attack on the GB. That's fine. So be it. Alright. If this is what the game has decided I must do, so be it. Let's Rare Candy evolve into Pawmot EX. Yes, I know my bench is super liable to falling, and that's you would be true. You know, like this happens. it's not a world for the rogue decks. We're gonna throw 220 on the GP with the fire energy, just make it a little bit harder for my opponent to set up and take a KO, because they won't KO my active, but they will KO either Torchic or Pawmi, and both of those would be infuriatingly annoying. Honestly, if I had to choose, I'd rather them take out Torchic, just because I could get a Buddy-Buddy Poffin and get 2 more Pawmis down, and then they can't take out both of those. They could, unless they boss, but then Pawmot would stay alive, which is fine. That's okay. I kind of just need Torchic, because Seething Spirit, if I have Seething Spirit and Powerglass in play, it's like, what does your opponent do about that? You just instantly set up Pawmot next turn, and then you can just manual attach to other Pokemon like Regigigas, since we got rid of Poppy, so it just kind of works nice. And my opponent is going to get down double Dracloak and evolve into double Dracloak. Okay, so now next turn, all I need to do is Levin Strike and take out a Dracloak, and then there will only be 1 potential Dragapult the following turn, unless my opponent gets down a Dreepy this turn. But I think either of those plays kind of work in favor for us. You know, they could go Dusknoir, Dragapult, take the KO on Pawmot and a bench Pokemon. That would be pretty bad. They would take 3 prizes, but we also would have 3 prizes at that point, since they would KO Dusknoir, giving us a prize, and then we're taking a prize card next turn. At least I'm hoping so, since we're going to Iono, and hopefully get some more playable cards off that to either evolve into Blaziken, give me another Earthen Vessel to get some more energy, give me even a Night Stretcher to get energy, just to make sure I'm attacking, you know, like anything. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Stadium, pull energy out of the discard pile. Hyper Blower into, honestly, you could take a Pawmi. Because if I could evolve Pawmi, I just got a free retreat. I don't hate that. They'll get rid of their Iron Bundle, as well as their Rescue Board, which is mighty fine. And they're going to get a Psychic Energy down. So if I can get my Pawmot EX in the active again, I can snipe Dracloak. I am going to need either Prime Catcher or Rare Candy Pawmot EX to pull that off. I only have 1 manual attachment. I guess actually there's multiple ways, because Rare Candy Blaziken would do it too. And I get the Ultra Ball off the top deck. That's actually a really rough card to draw into, since I am going to have to Iono my opponent to a new 6 cards, which I know could help them, but I really want to play the game and take a KO if I can. And this isn't totally going to do it, to be honest. Alright. But it's okay. Like, it's not the end of the world. I can Buddy-Buddy Poffin to get down another Pawmi and another Torchic, just to make sure that when they do inevitably go Dragapult next turn, they can't ruin my board state. They're also not going to be able to KO my Pawmi, or Pawmot, since I am going to retreat and use Zap Kick to just snipe Duskull. But now both my fire energies are in the discard. Again, unfortunate turn of events. Not the end of the world. The reason I'm not playing Powerglass now is because that's just what my opponent is going to Phantom Dive and KO, so I really don't want that in play. Also, it only works if it's on your active Pokemon. So now I can Arven for Ultra Ball, get Rare Candy, which can give me Blaziken EX. And then I can use Seething Spirit to get some extra energy onto a Pawmot that... actually, you know what? I could Ultra Ball... No, I have to get Blaziken. I was going to say maybe I go for Revavroom, but the only way I could do that is if I top deck Levincia or... what do you call it? Vessel Night Stretcher. Something to give me an energy in hand to then discard cards into my hand and draw more and hopefully get Blaziken off that. It might just be safer to go Blaziken. There's a 1 quadrillion% chance my opponent goes in with Dragapult EX here, uses Phantom Dive and takes out either a Pawmi or a Torchic. I don't know if I have a preference into either at this point. I think I'll kind of rock either way. I think maybe I do hope they take a Pawmi. Because if I could go double Blaziken and just double Seething Spirit every turn, I'm just going to spam Levin Strike every chance I can, which is devastating. They get down another Duskull, which is fine. Yeah, I mean, it's not the end of the world. I could Zap Kick it if absolutely needed. If they use it, it gives me a prize card. I'm most likely taking a single prize card anyways, since I can't KO Dragapult EX in 1 turn, at least not without Poppy, which I did Ultra Ball away, and Regigigas, which I don't even have in play. So, you know, that's a problem. Although I can Artisan the Regigigas down. That actually I don't hate that. They're going to take another Dragon Pole EX. Oh my god, wait, are you going to evolve Bolt? You are. So now there is no Recon Directives to be played, which means I could just 11 Strike after 11 Strike. Do you have Sparkling Crystal or a Fire Energy? I hope so. If not, you are just going to Jet Headbutt, which will still leave you short if you Phantom Dive. Oh my god, that would be so devastating. What do you got in hand? Pheasantipity. Alright, you can draw 3. Yeah, that works. Although, we're taking 2 prize cards. Yeah, they did not want to bench that Fez. They knew. They knew benching that Fez was going to be a problem. There's a Fire Energy in the discard from the early KO. Yeah, they need to do it, though, just so they can attack and take a prize card. It's fine. Pawmot EX, I said it, I'm not necessarily going to be able to deal with the active Pokemon many turns because they're just going to have more than 220, but I can abuse Pokemon like Pheasantipity, so now I'm praying to deal with Pawmi, because if I could get double Blaziken here and Artisan for Regigigas, I mean, we'll figure out how to set up Regigigas to take the last 2 prize cards. They'll need to gust it up and do a whole lot of other work, and while losing... huge. While losing Pheasantipity, which will give them Flip the Script this turn. That is not something I'm too scared of. They do have a 3 prize card turn in their favor next turn. We get a Combusken. Honestly, that's huge. We are going to Artisan. We're going to get Regigigas down on the bench. I do want to show this guy now, just because there's a good chance I start setting up onto it now. I don't hate Powerglass. Actually, no, I'm going to have to Ultra Ball that Powerglass away now that I think about it. So we need, what, Ultra Ball TM Evo to get Blaziken? Yeah. I could keep Arven. Yeah, I think I should keep... Oh, no, excuse me, not that. Let's get rid of Powerglass. Yeah, because then I'll evolve one Torchic into Combusken, and I'll Rare Candy the other one right now. And I think that keeps us as safe as humanly possible. So we'll get this guy evolved here. We will use Combusken. How many energy are in the discard pile? Just 2 fire energy. That's okay. I'm going to use Seething Spirit. We're going to get 1 down on Regigigas. So the next turn, I can go double Blaziken and a manual attached to Regigigas. Boom, game. That works, actually. That could work very, very well. Alright, let's 11 strike. Let's take our 2 prize cards. Give me that Fez. Give me that Fez. We'll take 2 prize cards. So now we're in Ultra Ball away. Yeah, that works. Because then we Arven for Ultra Ball, take Blaziken EX, which means I got the double energy from the discard pile here. And then, you know, I guess we still would be short 1 energy. I'll have to top deck an energy or something like that. That's not ideal. Levincia would go insane. Levincia top deck. Oh my god, or Nitro. There's so many cards I could top deck that I would love. What do you call it? Poppy? Poppy would be game. Because it's just free retreat, move the energy to Giga Swing. Like, that's why Poppy's in the deck. There's just so many cards in this deck that, like, I feel like everyone forgot about. Yo, Curse Blast onto Pawmot would be disgusting right now. I'm not gonna front. Oh my gosh. Oh my lord. They would give me a prize card, though, which could change everything. Do they do it? I don't even know if it's worth it at this point for my opponent. Because then if they do that, they can't Briar, which is an option they could do this turn, too, assuming it's, like, in hand right now. They have 0 draw. Absolutely no draw whatsoever. They are going to Curse Blast. They could throw it on Pawmot, take the KO that way. They're going to put it on Regigigas and just make sure that guy falls this turn. That's smart. They had to do that. Because if they didn't, they knew they were cooked. Yeah, I respect it. They'll trade 1 for 1. I'll lose it. But I can No, I can't Artisan it back. I need a Night Stretcher. Okay, now I don't know if I could pull this off as cleanly as before. But I could go in with double Blaziken. Alright. Blaziken, use, what is the attack called? Smolder Salt. Not bad. But we're going to evolve this guy too, so it's not the end of the world. Okay. Let's just go Blaziken here. We can't Countercatcher. Countercatcher is going to be useless, so we definitely Ultra Ball that guy away right now. Yeah. Okay. Oh, wait. That's kind of a crazy top deck. Let me just check. There's no Pokemon worth taking with Artisan, right? Everything would just fall. Varoom I don't hate. We could take Varoom just to thin. Because if they boss to stall something, they're going to take this guy. I kind of want to just thin it out of the deck. Let's go Arven. Let's take Ultra Ball. And I guess just Rock off that. I do have the other Blaziken in the deck, right? Thank gosh. I was going to say, if I don't, we're all types of cooked. Okay. And then we'll get rid of both of these guys. Take another Blaziken. Oh, you know what I did? I kind of overlook. They could go boss on Varoom or Pawmi and then swing for KO. If they take Varoom, they could take 2 prize cards this turn. That would be devastating. But, hey, you know, that's how it be sometimes. Not much you can do about it. So we'll take the energy there. We'll then use this Seething Spirit. We'll take an Electric Energy just in case. You never know what type of play my opponent's got. They haven't played many bosses. They haven't played any Gust card, actually, period. So yeah, there's a good chance. 8 cards in hand. They have no draw, though. There's still a good chance my opponent has boss for game. That would be unfortunate, but then it was just a simple misplay off Artisan. I mean, simple misplay that cost me the game, so a huge misplay, but yeah, that's game. They take Varoom, right? Yeah, I threw. I totally threw. Oh my god, I can't believe I overlooked that. That's unfortunate. We're 1-1 off a huge, huge misplay. Someone's gonna yell at me for that. Yo, dog, I get it. I know. I was having too much fun playing Pawmot and Blaziken. I forgot about prize mapping and, you know, how the deck functions. We could have easily walked away with that one. Right? No, actually, it wouldn't have mattered because Revavroom was in play. Okay, that makes me feel better. It wasn't a misplay. And if you're wondering why, all they had to do was go Countercatcher on Revavroom. It has 140 HP. So that they could swing, KO, and then still take Pawmi. So since I couldn't evolve Pawmot into... or Pawmi into Pawmot, I was cooked. And I couldn't just leave Combusken on the bench like that, because if I did that, that guy had 60 HP left. Yeah, my opponent, I think, just had us in checkmate there. That's unfortunate. Man. They had a good play on Regigigas with that Dusknoir. Oh well. Hey, 1-1. I'll take it. Let's hop into match number 3. See if I can make this 50-50 record a positive one. Welcome to match number 3. We open up with a very, very interesting hand. Honestly, it's not the worst. We got double Buddy-Buddy Poffin to make sure my bench is just fully established. I got Ultra Ball, so if I don't top deck like an amazing supporter and like Arven to TM Evo, my opponent's playing who they are. They did choose to go first, I believe. So I'm curious to see what they're playing. But as I was saying, I could just wait to get the Revavroom down. I have 2 energy in my hand, so I could easily, you know, kind of get those onto, I don't know, you know, in the discard pile, draw a bunch of cards. I was thinking if I could get them in the discard. Sorry, I'm doing too much thinking and not enough talking. I could Ultra Ball energy away and get Powerglass down and hope they don't take the Dong KO, but I don't exactly know what my opponent's playing. I mean, they got rid of Lily's Clefairy and Turo, and they have Knocked Out. They have, like, some sort of Knocked Out build. They can't... Wait, why'd they get another Van Rotop? What? What? Wellspring Ogre Pond. Ah, it is a Terror Box. Okay. Alright. We can do this. We can do this. And we know they have Knocked Out on hand. So we know they got a bunch of supporters that they're gonna want. Yup. So they can do some big old damage. Which means I kind of want to go attach retreat into Budew. Right? Yeah. And then with this Buddy-Buddy Poffin, we take out another Pawmi and a Torchic. And then all I gotta do, which I should have checked first, to make sure I got Revavroom, and we're good. And even Regigigas. Yeah, we eye it. We eye it. So we'll attach retreat this guy from Pawmi to Budew. Put my opponent under item lock. And then if they set up, there's like really not much I can do about it. Next turn I am gonna have to Ultra Ball away Pawmot in my top deck and just take Revavroom. I need the energy in hand, and I really need Powerglass just to make sure I'm getting energy down onto Pawmi when it's, or Pawmot hopefully when it's in the active spot. I don't know if there's much in my opponent's deck that can one-shot a 300 HP Pokemon. I'm kind of blanking on the massive attackers in Terra Box. They got Lily's Clefairy to swing for weakness with all the bench Pokemon onto Dragapult. They got Teal Mask Ogerpon to swing for weakness onto Charizard. I don't know. They might have a Cornerstone Ogerpon to wall out, you know, ability decks, but it doesn't swing for weakness damage. And even if it did, it was 280, which isn't 300. They got Crispin to get 2 energy down onto Wellspring Ogerpon, but that is not going to be enough. And a water energy, yeah. I was going to say, unless they get Sparkling Crystal down, which they do, and they can sob this turn. They cannot use Torrential Pump since they need 2 energy, and they had to attach one to Hoo-Oo to retreat. However, I'm sure my opponent has an energy, so they could use Torrential Pump the following turn, which is going to cause just as many problems. That is a huge top deck. I can get rid of this with a TM Evo. With my Ultra Ball, and then what? Take Rare Candy in hand. Just hope I can evolve somehow. I could. No, I can't go Pawmot. I have to get rid of Pawmot and TM Evo. I'll keep the Rare Candy, however. Does I have Ultra Ball? Yeah, let's keep the Rare Candy. Because then I just need to draw into Ultra Ball. I don't know. There's still a bunch I need to draw into. I really do wish I could use TM Evo this turn, but I'd much rather keep Powerglass in a matchup like this. We're just going to Ultra Ball these away, take out our Revavroom, make this guy nice and protected from Torrential Pump. I will attach the Powerglass to Pawmi, since I'm really praying I can evolve this turn. And then we're going to Rumbling Engine, draw 5. I need Ultra Ball Pawmot EX, and that is all sorts of cards that I needed. I will gladly get another Pawmi down. Ah, man, actually, you know what? We could evolve into this guy. I could Ultra Ball away Ultra Ball, and... Man, alright, wait, how do I do this? Because I kind of want to get another Torchic down, just so my opponent can't abuse, like, my one Torchic, because I am going to really need that guy to set up. I feel like that's kind of worth it. Get rid of Ultra Ball Pawmi. Yeah, that's fine. And we'll take a Torchic here. Just because I know they're going to use Torrential Pump, right? And I want to play around that. So they KO Budew. They KO Torchic, but I still have a Pawmi and a Torchic. I think that works in our favor. And then we'll Itchy Paw and put 10 damage on them. I don't think that damage is going to be relevant since we can't snipe their bench, since it is a Terrapin, or snipe that Wellspring Ogerpon off the bench, but also it's under 220. I do need it in the active spot to use Levin Strike to take the KO. Sadly, I could not retreat into Pawmot because I did not want to give them access to items. I would rather them just waste an attack, and then I promote Pawmot or something like that. I don't know. This is not the start. I mean... It's so weird because this was such a great start, but I'm like 1 energy short of greatness. If I just had an energy to attach to Pawmot that turn, I would have retreated into Pawmot. Just let the energy... I would have just accepted the attack and just let the energy build up onto Levin Strike because I knew I would have traded a bit more positively since they would have only taken 1 prize card with Torrential Pump unless they used some sort of gusting card. But no, they went in with Crispin. They got the metal energy attached to Ogerpon. They got what? That was not a water energy, and then they got a grass energy in the hand. And they're just going to use Torrential Pump, I'm sure. Yep, to take out a KO on Pawmi, so they will leave me with 2 Torchic. That's okay. I can try to get more Pawmi from the discard pile. I got a Rod, and we got 2 Pawmi. Yeah, it's not ideal, but hey, you know what? Sometimes that's just how it be. There's no energy now on the Ogerpon, and we get to Earthen Vessel. I'll sack a Pawmot since I got nothing left. I'll take a Fire Energy and an Electric Energy. I will put 1 Fire Energy in the discard pile, as well as attach the other with my manual attachment. Yeah, because then if I get Rare Candy, Blaziken, we got Seething Spirit onto the active, and then we got the KO on Ogerpon, and we got it! Oh, that's so big. All right. Oh, that's huge. Let's get rid of Buddy-Buddy Poffin and Varoom. Actually, I could get rid of an energy and play another Varoom down. Or keep Buddy-Buddy Poffin. I don't need another Varoom. Let's get rid of the energy. Play Buddy-Buddy Poffin just in case I have another Pawmi in the deck. I don't remember if I do, but if I do, I don't. Alright, it's kind of a waste. That's fine. I'll take Iron Hands. Nope, I can't do that. I was going to say with Buddy-Buddy Poffin, but that wouldn't work. Okay. Small misplay. I probably should have went in with our boy Varoom on the bench, but it's fine. I didn't really prize check. I'm just trying to keep my pace of play up. We will not use the Buddy-Buddy Poffin because I can get Rod, and then I could find this Buddy-Buddy Poffin back since I do want to get my Pawmis out of the discard pile. Yeah. And look at that. We get Rod. And Iron Hands. Funny enough. Alright, that's cool. Let's use Seething Spirit. Let's get our Electric Energy attached to the active. I am going to bench Iron Hands just so I can start Seething Spirit onto it. I do have Prime Catcher, so I can retreat that out. I'm also not going to use Rod yet. I'm just going to Levin Strike. We're going to take our KO on their active. They got 4 cards in hand. Well, we got something cooking. We got something cooking. Well, our Powerglass will go into effect, so we'll get an energy down onto Pawmot. And then we'll use Seething Spirit. Oh, that's huge. Another Rare Candy Combusken. I love that. We will use Seething Spirit to get the second energy down onto Pawmot EX. And I will probably, honestly, snipe their active. Actually, you know what I could do? I could just use Zap Kick to take out their active. I want to take out their active because that's the Hoodoo. Oh, never mind. Fez, good night. Yeah, that's gone. That's 2 prize cards. This is why I wanted to see Terra Box. Sure, you could keep Ogerpon. We got Blaziken, which we could set up at any moment. Okay. I'm rocking with this. You could keep your Hoot Oots. I want your Fez. Like I said, my opponent's going to play the game when you play this deck. You just have to accept that. What's more important is that you somehow have Prime Catcher Boss. You're going to start setting up Iron Hands, because we'll obviously top deck an energy. Or Levincia, get some energy back. That would be great, too. And then I'll start sniping Fez, take 2 more prize cards. Then I'll use either Blaziken or Iron Hands to either use Iron Hands to take 2 prize cards off a single prize Pokemon, or use Blaziken, which can take 2 prize cards off Ogerpon here, since we are swinging for weakness. Pikachu is a little annoying. That Iono is kind of problematic. We are losing 2 rare candies, and I believe we're down 2 candies because I didn't use middle evolutions yet. But we get Arven, Iono, Counter Catcher in case they somehow take a KO this turn, and Electric Energy to manual attack. This hand is insane. This hand might be better than the last one. If I could top deck like a Blaziken, Arven for Rare Candy, double Seething Spirit, yeah, we're live. Love the Poppy here. Let's go Arven. Who do I want? I don't really want a Rumbling Engine here. I kind of want a manual attach. I think we just go... Oh, actually, you know what? I don't have another Ultra Ball, so I can't even Ultra Ball Rare Candy. I can't even Ultra Ball for Combusken. I kind of just have to... Ah, man. It's a little tricky. Let's just take Prime Catcher. It's fine. Yeah, that works. I'll attach this energy to the active. I'll use Seething Spirit to get an energy down on Iron Hands. I'll honestly Powerglass the Iron Hands too. I don't think it really matters at this point. And then we'll go Levin Strike. Take 2 prize cards off Fez. Yeah. Because this is Terra, no bench damage. This is Terra, no bench damage. I can't one-shot Pikachu, which is a little annoying. But now I got Prime Catcher to get around the Pikachu as well. Or bring... Yeah, no, actually, this works so perfectly. I think we got game in hand because we have Prime Catcher. I attach to Pawmot. I use Prime Catcher to bring up Ogerpon to the active spot. I then use Seething Spirit. I promote Torchic. I use Seething Spirit to attach an energy to Torchic, retreat into Pawmot, and never mind. I just attach swing on... I have game on board. There's no way, I think... they could set a Pikachu. Yeah, they could set a Pikachu. All right. Okay, now things got interesting. Ooh, now things got really interesting. Because they just go into Pikachu. And now I need to set up Iron Hands to take 2 prize cards. And I don't think I could get that many energy in play this turn. That changes so much. But they get this card 3 energy. And I don't know what they do the following turn either, to be fair. Because I didn't get a Pawmi down. I just got it out of the prizes. And they are going to KO my active. They're swinging 300. And sadly, that's how much HP we have. So it is kind of perfect. Their Pikachu EX was obviously built to take out Pawmot EX. Ooh, and they get Crispin. Crispin Night Stretcher. Are they going to get, like, extra energy down on Pikachu? That would be really annoying. It'd be smart. It'd be very smart. Oh, wait. No. Whoa. What am I talking about promoting Iron Hands? Oh, my gosh. I almost threw. Blaziken. Ogerpon. Yo, we almost thrown 2 games in a row. Alright, we'll throw up Torchic. Because we Seething Spirit, the fire energy that I always try to put in the discard pile just in case. Yeah, we're live. I could even Poppy onto Blaziken. Fire energy to Blaziken. Electric energy to Blaziken. Prime Catcher. Ogerpon. Blaziken. Good night. Good night, Streaks. What? They scoop. Good night. Game. 2-1. Not bad. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Yo, this deck is so much fun. Oh my lord. Like, it's so... I don't know. It's so goofy. Look at this guy. Hold up. We gotta turn off my face cam here for a second. Turn off you. Look at him. Imagine losing to that. The thing is so goofy. I love it. This deck is a blast. Definitely give it a go. One of the more fun rogue decks I've played in a long time, to be honest. I mean, this one is crazy interesting. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, tomorrow, 11 a.m. EST Creators Cook-Off. Be there. Not or anything. Just be there. Because, I don't know, it's going to be an awesome time. There's some really cool mats. Mat, plural. Or, I don't know why I said plural. Mat. There's going to be a really cool mat that I'll be posting and sharing with everyone that people could order. I drew it for the winner. It's got all of our channels on it in a very unique way. I spent a bit of time doing it. And if nothing else, you should watch the tournament because it's going to be a ton of fun. And there's going to be a cool playmat y'all can get. So you might as well, hop in. If you needed more of an incentive, now it's there. Seriously, though, thank you guys. I for real got the best community. I appreciate y'all so much. With that being said, stay epic. Peace.